What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and January 15th is usually a pretty exciting day for Major League Baseball because on January 15th, the international free agent signing period officially opens up, meaning that teams are allowed to sign any free agent international prospect that they feel fit, and usually it's a pretty mad dash to get players signed, even though the free agent period is from January 15th through December of 2023. A lot of these top named free agent international prospects get signed pretty quickly. And the Red Sox were a part of that frenzy yesterday because they made a couple of really interesting moves. However, one of them really made a big splash, and that is signing the 25th highest ranked prospect within the international prospect ranking list. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the big splash the Red Sox made on international free agent signing day. We're going to talk about who he is, how he plays, introduce you guys to one of the top prospects that the Red Sox signed, and see if we could figure out what his impact on this Red Sox team and in this Red Sox organization may look like. But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. So like I said in the intro, there were a couple of players the Red Sox ended up signing yesterday, and there will probably be a couple more as we go on here, and if there are any really big ones, we'll probably make another video talking and singling them out as well. But today's focus is on Yoeilin Cespedes. Now, the other players that were signed by the Boston Red Sox are named Yoeilin Cespedes. He is a right-handed pitcher that comes from the Dominican Republic. Could be a really interesting guy as he comes through the minor league system, and a guy by the name of Yoeilin Cespedes. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It is spelled Cueche, a shortstop out of Venezuela. But again, like I said, the big ticket guy, the guy that everyone is talking about within the Red Sox organization is Cespedes. Cespedes, like I said in the intro, is the 25th highest ranked prospect on MLB.com's pipeline for international prospects. He is 17 years old from San Cristobal, Dominican Republic. He's a right-handed hitter as well as right-handed on the field. And right now, MLB.com has him listed as a shortstop, but that could really vary as he makes his way through the Red Sox organization, all of the minor league steps and stuff like that, which we'll get into in a second. But one of the big things surrounding Cespedes, and one of the reasons why scouts are so impressed and excited about Cespedes, is because of his power. He's got a short, compact swing that allows him to generate a ton of bat speed. He also has natural raw power that he uses within his swing to generate a ton of power in his at-bats. He can put the ball to all sides of the field with that power, and he's getting compared right now to major leaguer Howie Kendricks. Now, I don't love the idea of comparing any minor league player to major league players, mostly because I don't love the idea of putting this sort of expectation on a guy before he even reaches the major leagues. But in this case, it may be a little bit useful because of how little we have visually to watch Cespedes play. There's not a ton of highlights or anything out there. All we really have to go off of is scouting reports and stuff people who have seen him play say. So in this case, it may be a little bit helpful. And personally, with the comparison to Howie Kendricks, I think Cespedes' ceiling is a little bit higher than that. Now, don't get me wrong. Hendricks was a very solid player for 15 seasons in Major League Baseball, and that is a fantastic career. He also had a 109 OPS plus and won a World Series with the Washington Nationals in 2019. But I think there's more to Cespedes to be excited about that is beyond his power. He also has what scouts are describing as an advanced plate approach. Now, this means he's got a pretty good feel for the strike zone. In fact, it's a really good sign that scouts are describing Cespedes as having this advanced plate approach, because plate approach isn't just one thing. It isn't just having a good feel for the strike zone. It isn't just being able to identify strikes and balls. It isn't just being able to figure out what pitches you personally are good at attacking and what pitches you know you should lay off of. It sort of envelops everything, right? It's everything from the second you get into the box to the second you make contact with the baseball in fair territory. And it's extremely important that at such a young age, Cespedes already has what is being described as an advanced approach, mostly because that's something that players tend to learn as they go through the minor league system in Major League Baseball, right? It's usually guys who have a ton of this raw ability, then get to the United States or get drafted or signed or whatever, get into a minor league system and then sort of refine that raw ability into more practical uses. It seems as though Cespedes already has a bit of a leg up on that. Coming into Major League Baseball baseball and their organizations playing, Cespedes is going to have a leg up on a lot of people around him, and it's a fantastic sign that already he has that advanced plate approach. And it's even better because once he gets here, they're not going to have to mold it out of just raw ability. They can fine tune that, right? They can fine tune the little things in his plate approach and make it even better. So having a great plate approach is absolutely fantastic, and the fact that he is already being described as advanced makes it even better. Now, as for his fielding, like we talked about, I said that we were going to talk about this a little bit after. Baseball.com right now has him listed as a shortstop, but that's not entirely the case. That's just sort of where the most athletic player around his age at 17 usually plays, but he has played all over the infield. In fact, Baseball America just has him listed as an infield because of that reason, because he sort of spent time everywhere within the infield. Cespedes has a good arm and pretty solid fielding. It's not exactly the highlight of Cespedes' ability, and it's more so focused on what he can do at the plate, but he does have that solid arm and he does have pretty solid fielding, and most scouts believe that he will end up as either a third baseman or a second baseman. Why not shortstop, and why the MLB.com has him listed as a shortstop, I'm not entirely sure, but that's what the scouts are saying. They're saying he is probably profiling right now best at second base or third base. Now, defense is something, you know, a lot of people don't pay a ton of attention to when you're signing a kid that's 17 years old, mostly because you can really work on that as you go through the minor league system. So in my opinion, he could really end up absolutely anywhere, especially if he's athletic enough to be playing every single infield position. There is one thing about Cespedes that scouts are currently raving about, and it has really nothing to do with what he can actually do physically on a baseball diamond. The one thing that I see recurring a lot when I look into Yoeilin Cespedes is the fact that almost every scout describes him being a really hard worker. They say he has a really great drive and work ethic, and that's something he takes a lot of pride in. The other thing I see a lot of scouts saying about Cespedes is the fact that he has a natural baseball IQ. Now, power is great, plate approach is even better. The fact that he can play all over the field is fantastic, but in my opinion, one of the most exciting things about Cespedes are these two things. The fact that at 17 years old, he has a really dedicated work ethic as well as a natural feel for the game of baseball, because in my opinion, those are two things that are near impossible to teach, right? You can teach plate approach, you can work on gaining more power, you can work on being a better defender, but you're not really going to put the time and effort into doing that if you don't have the work ethic in the first place. And at the end of the day, if you don't understand truly the game of baseball naturally, it's a really hard thing to learn well enough to be a truly effective MLB player. And so the fact that Cespedes has those already makes me super excited for what Cespedes can do in a major league organization. Now, obviously this isn't a guarantee, but again, you're talking about a leg up already with the plate approach, and you add in a work ethic and you add in that natural baseball IQ. That seems to me like a really great recipe to hopefully see at least some success in the major leagues. As for your scouting grades, those are currently on the screen now. I know some of you guys really like looking at the actual numbers themselves. Now, they're usually right around 50, but he does have that above 50 grade in power. Like we talked about, he does have that raw natural power, and these are pretty fairly decent grades for a kid who's only 17 years old. There are some minor leaguers within our system right now who are top 20-25 guys who have similar grades. So the fact that he's getting these grades at such a young age is a really good sign. Now, the actual money actually attached to Cespedes was a signing bonus of around $1.5 million. So a fairly hefty fee, but nothing crazy. He's right around sort of that middle. The Red Sox have about $4.5 million to spend. So we'll probably see another big ticket type guy a little bit in the future here. But that's the amount of money they paid to get Cespedes in the Red Sox organization, at $1.5 million. Now, at the end of the day, do we know for certain whether this kid will pan out or not? Absolutely not, right? Anything can happen in the minor league systems. Heaven forbid he does not work out, but we won't know that for a pretty long time. However, I am excited about this Cespedes signing. I think he has a lot of great things going for him, both on the field and off the field, that point to him hopefully being a productive player at the major league level at some point in the near future here. We're talking 4, 5, 6 years away, but still somewhere in that time frame, right? Again, I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm not looking into a crystal ball saying this is the next superstar of the Boston Red Sox, but there are a ton of great things here, and I'm excited to see how he develops at the minor league level. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of this signing? What do you think of Yoeilin Cespedes, the 25th highest ranked prospect in the international draft? What do you think his impact on this Red Sox team could be? Let me know all your thoughts on Cespedes down below. As always, if you made it to the end of the video here, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seat.